Can you hear and see me okay? Hello. There's also a face here. Can you hear and see me okay? Bandwidth's okay? No buffering? Hello. Yay. Oh, I'm glad everything's working great. So, hello. Thank you for being here. It is my weekly Thursday live stream, and today is going to be about all the art supplies that I bought over this month of June. So I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat first. Hello, Paolo. Hello, my super awesome moderator Eve. Hi, Ian, Cyan, Kim. Hi, E.T. Hi, Julia. Hi, Vomika. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this is going to be another fun live stream for us. I can move this out the way and put it over here. Right, so I've got bits of, well, I have some paints, I have some art supplies. I'm just looking at all the, oh, it's really weird because my camera is flipped over. So it's the other way around. And I've got all my art supplies and stuff to show you over here. So first of all, I'm going to show you some art that I've received or bought in June, and some of these were in May because they came after my May art haul. And then go through some paints, and then I have a mother load of a Crema order that just arrived a couple of days ago and haven't gone through them, so I thought it'd be fun to go through them together. And if we have enough time, then maybe I can mull a paint or two for you from the Crema order. How does that sound for everyone? How is everyone today? Is it sunny where you are? Is it ridiculously sunny and hot where you are like it is here? Although I have to say, it being the UK and Scotland, it hasn't hit anywhere near 30, and our train lines have melted. There is a pavement down the street from me that have buckled in heat, and it is completely pathetic. Like when you consider places like Japan, where it regularly hits 30 and plus, and like American stuff, and you know, they can cope. Why don't we cope when like the weather, yeah, we call it heat wave, but it hasn't hit like 30 and things are just like melting already. I don't understand what they make train tracks out of here. So Paolo says it's cold. Ian says it's hot. Bomka says muggy hot. Hello, April. Oof. Don't know if you can see it, but I burnt my finger making lunch today, so it's still a bit sore. Right, so first up, I'm going to show you some artworks. So first up is, hang on, let me just put these. First up are, I do believe that's a cat hair, and I love that. I think it's a Pecco hair. How is Pecco doing today, Eve? These are art prints that I received from Eve. I am a patron of, I am her Patreon on the Patreon website, if that makes sense. And she sends out monthly prints, and she just happened to send 2 prints at the same time. And I think that's awesome because I can just keep them in this lovely bag case thing that she sends the art print with, and it's like a little book, so I really like it. And as always, it's adorable and cute and gorgeous. I've left a link to her Patreon, and like I've left a link down in the description below for all the stuff that I'm going to mention in this live stream as well. And as you can tell, by the way, I am so much better than I was on Sunday. I am so sorry about Sunday. I know I coughed through all of it. Normally I just wouldn't do a live stream, but because Dan was here from Penholder Art, you know, you just kind of got to make the best of the situation while the opportunity is there, don't you? But I have a little bit of more cough, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was on Sunday, so hopefully there will be fewer coughing breaks. So anyway, yeah, that's the art print, and she sends them out one a month. So, and it's really, really affordable. It's like ridiculously affordable. I keep telling her to like put her prices up. But they are beautiful, and they always come, like, I think they're always the size of the 5, 6, 5, I think. Don't quote me on that one. I'm sure Eve will be able to tell us in the chat. And yeah, I just love them, and I'm so grateful that I get to receive a art print every single month. So that's awesome. And then second is this beautiful piece, and this is an original piece. It was, and it was painted by Alicia from Ali Bean, and I've left a link to her channel down below. I think she has paused her Patreon for now. Okay, Eve says her prints are 5x6. Thank you. And what happened, I don't know if you saw the video, but I sent her a full set of Holbein, just like little samples of them, and she very, very kindly painted me an original painting as a thank you. I'm like, I think I got the better deal here, and it is beautiful. You can also see her video painting this actual piece, and the amount of work and the layers that went into this piece was amazing. It was also really interesting to like be able to have an original piece but with a video of it being painted as well. That was a really interesting experience. So that was another one. And I know you can get her art prints and originals from her websites, which you can find from her about page on her YouTube page. And then the last piece of artwork is this adorable, gorgeous, absolutely amazing piece. What happened was, I think it was back in May or April, Denise was, her health was struggling, and she couldn't do the art convention that she was going to go to, so she was going to be a little bit strapped for cash. So she was doing sales and stuff, and I wanted a way, because of the way, you know, if she has to buy the products in the first place, it has how art works. But if it's like a pouch, she has to spend money to, you know, get those made, and then of course I have to pay an extraordinary amount of postage that Etsy calculates for you. And I just thought it's not the best use of my money going to her. So instead I signed up to her Patreon. Well, I've already signed up to her Patreon, but what I did was I just like brought up my level a few levels just for the 1 month, because I can't afford to do it all the time. But that month I had some breathing space, so I thought, you know, she probably needs it more than I do. So I increased my pledge level, and the reward for that was a original painting. And I'm so sad that it was that I could only do that for 1 month, but I thought it was better than nothing. And one of the rewards for that level is that you get an original painting, and you could choose what animal to have. So I said, may I please have a seal? Of course, what else would I pick, on a rainbow background? And this again is an original. So now I have 3 original pieces, because I bought the tiger shark piece from Eve. Now I've got Alicia's piece, and this is my 3rd original, and it is just so cute. It is so cute. It arrived like on a rainy morning, and I was having a really bad day. Nothing was going right. I don't know about you, but this like couple of weeks just been really slow going for me, and I was having a really bad morning, and this cutie, adorable baby arrived, and it just made my day. So thank you very much for this gorgeous piece, Denise. Also linked her Patreon down in the description below. Isn't that so cute? So next up, we are gonna go into art supplies, and this is a White Nights palette. Now I've never tried White Nights, but I saw this palette on, I think it's called Great Art. I've left a link down below. And I saw the palette, so I thought I'd give it a go, because it's really affordable. It's like £10 something, which is probably about $12 to $15 for the palette, which is really, really affordable. I think that's actually even cheaper than the Medine metal palette on Amazon that I can find. And I did buy the Medine palette. I didn't get on with it. I showed it to you guys on probably the last art haul, and I thought I'll give this one a go. And what I didn't realize, because you just see a photo, is how compact it is. So here is the Medine palette. They both take, hang on, how many do they take? They both take 28 full pounds. You know, the standard metal tin. What's that price, Eve? Eve's put a price saying £6.20 including VAT. I don't know what that price is. Can you let me know what that price is for, please? And so, like, you can see that it's a lot smaller to begin with. It's a lot shorter, but what's amazing is the thickness. You see that? It's so much thinner. It's like that. There you go. You can see how thin it is. Where's that price from, Eve? This is so much thinner, which is great if, you know, because these are like ideal for traveling with if you are a metal palette kind of person. But this is so much smaller and thinner than the standard metal box, and it holds the same number of pans. And I'm sorry if I'm like mumbling my words. I haven't slept properly in about 2 weeks since I've been coughing. I cough all night and then I don't get as good night's sleep. So I might be muttering my words more than I normally do. Oh yeah, so at the moment the Great Art website is doing a 20% off. It says it's 20% off everything, but I checked a few of the prices, and this palette is definitely 20% off from what I paid. However, there are a few other items that like aren't 20%, even says 20% off, but they are items that already had 20% off the recommended retail price. So not necessarily a massive sale, but this palette is definitely on sale. So it's a great time to stock up. The sale ends, I think, on the 1st of July, which is in 29, 30, in 3 days. So this weekend is a great time to get this palette. One thing I do have to let you know, well, a couple of things I have to let you know, is, so with most metal tins, you can lift out, oh, I've stuck this one down, hang on. I have to stick this one down because it moves around a lot and rattles and I hate it. Right, let's get you aside. This is a Jackson's one. And most metal tins, you can just lift this up. I've never used it for that function. Like, I've never lifted these things out. I know it gives you extra mixing space, but I've never used it like that. I've always had the whole insert in there. There isn't a insert in here, so these where you put the pans are just stuck down. The other thing is these aren't normally the rails where you put your pan are welded in. These ones aren't. They are punched in or they're embossed in. And what that means is, the first time it freaked me out because I was trying to bend these tabs for back, like open, so from this position to that position, because it came like really close and I couldn't get any pan in. And so I was pressing it down, like out, and then like the whole rail came off and I was like, oh my goodness, it is a really cheap thing and it comes off. However, what I found out was you can pop it back in because it's not welded, which I think is great. So you do have to be more careful when you are doing the adjustments for these tabs. Just put your finger on it if you have to open the tab up a little bit. But other than that, I don't think I don't see that as a design flaw. I think it's a good thing that you can just pop it back in. It also probably means you'll be able to just like pop a rail out if you really wanted to as well, if you ever wanted to. So in here, I actually turned this palette into my own handmade palette, watercolor. So these are all my prototypes rather than like a finished piece. These are my first goes at all these colors. You can see the colors here, and so they're not like neat or not quite perfect, but I needed somewhere to be able to store them, reference them. If I make a new version of the same color, I want to be able to, you know, refer back to the old sample. And also it's really, really good to have a old sample that has spent the time just maturing and drying, so that you know what they're going to look like over time as well. And so on here I have ultramarine very dark, international client blue, ultramarine red. This is the ultramarine red or pink that I mulled in my paint mulling live stream. Ultramarine green, this is the historic ultramarine green, and what that basically means is that they found a whole bunch of pigments in the back of a warehouse of a company that went bankrupt years and years ago, like in the 30s or something. And so they were selling some what pigment they found in there, and I happened to get one of the last bags. And I tried making my own ultramarine green. This was like right at the start of my paint making journey. So I realized that I wasn't a good enough paint maker to make a good paint out of the ultramarine green. And of course, it being like the last one of the last bags in the world, I thought, as a responsible paint maker and a paint lover, I have a duty to hand these paints over to people who can do a much better job of turning this like precious pigment into a good, beautiful artist quality paint. So I sent samples to Dan from Penholder Art UK, Eve, my moderator, because she's an amazing paint maker as well, and also Ame, who does Eventually Everything Mixes. So I am looking forward to seeing those samples. And then I was just mucking around with the ultramarine green and making, like, adding a bit more blue to it. Paula says you have Eve Klein blue. Yes, I have Eve Klein blue. I actually tracked down the pigment company that that Eve Klein actually went to get his Eve Klein blue, and this is the actual thing. I imported it from Paris because as you can see, I have an obsession with ultramarine blue, if you couldn't tell, and I was trying lots of different kinds of ultramarine blue that I could find. And then I have ultramarine blue extra dark, ultramarine blue, buff. I really like the Daniel Smith's buff, so I'm hoping that this is going to be something that is close to that. That was a kind of a gold bronze color. Studio pink, Nicosia green, Studio Bordeaux. Not really impressed with the Studio pigments. They are student quality, and therefore I won't be selling those because I really like intense colors, rich creamy quality, and just some consistency in color, whereas as you can see they are really patchy. And you know, this is a good example of why you should stick to artist quality paints rather than the student quality paints, because it's pretty easy to get an even covering with an artist quality paint, but when you use a student quality it gets patchy like this, and it's just going to make your life a misery while you're trying to learn how to paint with watercolor. So buy a fewer tubes of artist quality paints rather than lots of student quality paints, and you're just going to have a much better time. This is ultramarine red dark pink, Caput Mortem dark that I wasn't impressed with, and I just wanted to see how it would be when it dries. Still not impressed. Synthetic malachite, which I really, really like. I think it's a really good copy of the Malachite, and it's a fraction of the price. Iron oxide middle. This is a lovely, lovely opaque um, iron oxide. So I'm really liking this. Verona green earth. Titanium orange. The pigment was very orange, so I thought Paolo would like it, but I'm slightly disappointed at the lack of brightness. It's a very earthy orange. This is spinel grey, Persian red, Persian yellow, terra ercolano, and ultramarine violet so far. So yes, I hope to fill many more of these, and it'll be really good because the palettes are so much more affordable. Oh, thank you, April. I just felt that, you know, I was going to make a mess of that very precious pigment, and so I was like, no, I'm not going to ruin the last bag in the world of this pigment, because it's not being made ever again unless some amazing pigment maker just decides to generously give us ultramarine green. I don't know why we don't have ultramarine green, although it was really interesting. I know I'm going completely sidetracked. I'm really sorry, but I had some back and forth emailing with Crema. Crema's always great at getting back to you about any questions you have, and they slip. I don't know if they meant to tell me, but or it was a slip up. But they basically said that all the little variations and the ultramarine green and they had like ultramarine blue, but like redder or greener ones. They were actually fails. They were failed attempts that were just stored as samples, and that's what they're selling. There was failed attempts of making an ultramarine blue, and that's why I think we don't have people manufacturing ultramarine green. But I think it's such a shame, because I don't know if you tried the ultramarine green ready-made watercolor from Crema, but it's just such a beautiful color, and we need more of those colors. Pigment makers, if you're watching this, please make ultramarine green. It's such a beautiful color. So a few more people came in while I was chatting away. Hello, Moina. Hello, Carrie. Carrie, if you look for any places that sell White Nights, because that's White Night palette, then that's shipped to the US, then you might be able to get hold of it. Right, I'm just gonna have a sip of drink. This is my stream juice for the day, and I usually have this with soy milk and heather honey, Scottish heather honey. But I received a lovely, lovely, huge parcel from Eve yesterday, and it had maple sugar, so maple syrup but in a sugar form, and that's what I got in here, and it's gorgeous. It smells amazing. I'm sorry, you just heard me snort on live camera. I'm sorry. This is where the camera is. This is what's recording, and I just snorted it right next to it. I'm sorry. Next up are two little paint tubes. I obviously bought more than two paint tubes. Come on, it's me, you know, I'm not gonna just be like two paint tubes a month. However, these are the colors that I bought for the season 2 of the Daniel Smith Color Showdown. I'm not sure if you caught the first episode that went out on Monday, but the season 2 is back. I'm so excited that the season 2 is back, and it's all thanks to my Patreons, because it's their support that has afforded me to be able to buy whatever color that got requested for season 2, and that also include like the really expensive colors as well. But because we've only had one episode and I don't want to ruin the surprise for you for the other episodes, I can only show you the two colors that we've already covered in episode 1. That is of course the Hansa Yellow Deep and the new gamboge. I think I bought 17 tubes of different colors in the end for season 2, so that shows you like how many colors are totally new to me as well, and I quite like it that way, so that I'm not going in with a judgment for myself as well. The whole point of this channel was that I am a complete beginner watercolor artist, certainly when I started doing this channel, and I felt that there was obviously there's very valuable content made by professional veteran artists that have been painting for years and have a huge wide knowledge, but I thought, you know, they are valuable questions that me as a beginner can ask and also try and answer for other people. And so the Dennis Smith Color Showdown came exactly from that point, in that I didn't know the difference between certain colors, and it's really great that even in season 2 there are so many colors that even I haven't tried yet. So definitely looking forward to this. Yeah, no spoilers. Yes, 17, because there's 10 episodes and we cover 2 colors per episode. So I had like 3 colors, one of which was the new gamboge. As you can see, this is more well used. But yeah, that's how many we end up with because it's 10 episodes. Next up are these syringes and this tin. I know, art supplies, syringe, weird, huh? I don't know if I showed you the syringe. So I'm going to show it to you again in case I didn't show you the syringe before in an art supplies whole video. These are just normal syringes, 50 ml, and somebody, I can't remember who it was because it was quite a while ago now, I think it was about 3-4 months ago, suggested that I should use syringes to pour paint into pans. I thought, well, I'll give it a go, and I did a live stream, I think earlier this month or last month, where I recreated larger batches of the retired Holbein colors, the colors that were retired in 2011, so 8 years ago. And we made that and I put it all in the syringe, and I have to say they worked amazingly well, really well. Richie's saying DS New Gamboge has 2 pigments, right? Yes, it does. It's a blend of 2 colors, and if you want to find out which pigments and just know the difference, then I've left a link down below, and I'm sure Eve can link it for us as well in the chat of that episode, which is the season 2 episode 1. We still got 9 more episodes. That is so much fun. What was I saying? Yeah, syringes, these work so well. What I did was, just to seal it off when I wasn't using it, I just sealed it off with a masking tape and it stayed dry, because what I did was I poured most of it into pans, and then I had about 10 milliliter of the paints left, so that I could just top up the top of each pan as once the paint dries, because they always sink and you need to just top it up a little bit. Put a masking tape on it, left it for weeks, and it stayed fresh and dry. So this is actually amazing, and the reason why I did all that was so that I could offer the 7 recreated colors as this month's Patreon reward over on my Patreon, link to which is down in the, thank you Eve for the link to the episode 1. The link to my Patreon is in the description below. It's also, what corner are we? Yeah, over that way, about here on my page as well. And it's just 7 colors that we recreated together on the live stream. That was so much fun, and I just poured that out of the syringe. And then also, and so if you want to get hold of this, then you need to sign up over on my Patreon at the appropriate level before the 30th of May. So you've just only got a couple more days to not miss out on this dot card. And I also made, I think I think I'm going to end up with about 13, 14 sets of the three, so this one, this one, this one, three of the retired colors, which were Miyazaki Kantoku of the Ghibli studio, his favorite colors, and also the compost green number 3, no, number 2. But just because it was such a pretty color, I was like, I have to like put it in there because it's such a beautiful, like minty kind of green color. And I'm going to be selling this in a tin like this as a 4-pan set over in my shop, hopefully next month once the paints are thoroughly dry. But I just want to make sure that the paints are going to be thoroughly dry first, because most of my audience is in America, so that's obviously a long way to go for paint, and that's a long way to go for paints to travel. So I just want to make sure that it's going to withstand all the shaking and the vibration and the flight. It's going to take a flight to you guys, which just like is blowing my mind right now. And so I just want to make sure that they are all nice and dry. And what I'm intending to do with like sales of paints, the handmade paints, they won't come with any magnets, but because these are being sold in a set in a metal tin, they will already have magnets on them. That's why they don't move at all, even if you shake them. So yeah, it'll be in a nice tin like this. So I also bought this tin as well. So that's that. How are you guys doing in the chat? Let's have a look. Cyan is saying I need to find a blunt needle syringe for filling fountain pen cartridges, but they are insanely hard to find here. Do you have like a nursing friend? Is that legal? Is that even legal to like ask your nurse friend to like send you one? Oh, thank you very much for putting my Patreon page on the chat as well, Eve. No, Sweater? Is that how you pronounce your name? Is asking, has anyone here used both the versions of New Gamboge? I have the old one in stick. Is the new one with 2 pigments good? I haven't used both, but I can say that the new one is a beautiful color. If you want to have a really detailed look at how the New Gamboge paints, then if you check out my video that Eve linked to earlier of the episode 1 of season 2 of the Daniel Smith Color Showdown, you can get a really detailed look at the new Gamboge, the new Gamboge. Hello Stacy, good morning. Right, next up is quite exciting for me as well, because you know, Dan was up in Edinburgh and he came laden with gifts, and I was just blown away by his generosity. And I haven't opened them because I wanted to open them with you guys. Well, I opened a couple because I just couldn't resist. So okay, let's address the elephant in the room. This thing is a jam lid that is packed full. It is so heavy. I know it's metal as well, but jam lids aren't that heavy. Of Dan's Blue. Can you see my smile? It's so much Dan's Blue. This whole thing is Dan Blue. It's just amazing, and it's, I don't know why I never thought of putting paint into jam jar lids or lids of any sort, because I use big brushes, and these are actually perfect, ideal, and very affordable. So that is a genius idea, Dan, and it just makes me giggle and smile whenever I look at it, because it's massive. It's just so massive. And it's a huge thick layer. There's only like a millimeter or so clearance between the top of the paint and the top of the jar. It's just look. That's how big it is compared to my face. And it smells amazing. It smells really nice. And I know people are saying that's a lifetime supply. I know how much paint I use, so I know it's not a lifetime supply, but it's gonna last me a quite good amount of time. And he also made a tube of Dan's blue as well, so I have this and a tube. I'm a spoiled girl. He also sent me phthalo green, which is great because I think it was phthalo green that Eve and Dan both said it's a pain to mold, so I'm very grateful to receive like a whole tube of it. So thank you very much. And then I know what these are because as you can see I've opened them before. But this is his version. Look how beautiful that is of the ultramarine green that I sent him. It's a sample. Oh, you want to swatch? Yeah, sure. Let's do a swatch. Apart from the fact that like my pad of paper is like buried deep. Hang on, hold on. I just have to do some shuffling. Swatch the jam jelly, of course. Right, in which case I am gonna just move my drinks from here to over here because I have a rule to have like my drinking liquid and my brush cleaning water on the opposite side of the table, because I don't know, that is the only way I can stop myself from dipping my paintbrush into my drinks. So right, I feel like I need a bigger brush than a size 8. Da, da, da. Oh, so big. Now, as you know, Dan's blue, I believe, is the best blue in the whole wide world. Sorry, I'm gonna cough. That is 37 minutes without me coughing though, so that was pretty good going. Oh, it's so nice. So this is Dan's blue. It's looking a little bit phthalo blue yellow shade on the, or green shade on the screen, but it is a proper ultramarine blue. Whew. I'm gonna cough again. Sorry. Right, let's hope that's it. So yeah, that is the ultramarine blue. The reason why I think Dan's blue is best is because A, it's the brightest of all the ultramarine blues I've ever seen. And it's also very smooth and even, and it's just so pretty. And he very, very kindly shared with me what blue it was. And I, like, unknowingly had tried that one, but it doesn't come out this. So I don't know what voodoo magic he puts in. Oh dear, coughs come like buses. I was fine for like 40 minutes and then like just all coming. Hold on a second. yeah, so as you can see, incredibly high tinting strength. It's just so beautiful, and I'm so grateful that he gifted me with a huge bunch of Dan's Blue, because I can't recreate them. And yeah, thank you so much. Do you want to see all the other colors? I'm really confused because it says they look green, but it's white. What's happening? Hang on, let me just get a palette. Why is it white? I don't know. Right, there's a palette. Did he play a prank on me? I'm so confused. It's white. Dan, did you play a prank on me? Or did you just get the labels wrong? I'm so confused right now. Eve? Do you know? Big. I'm so confused. No, it's like proper. It's all white. I'm so confused. Oh, why is he not here? We need him here to explain. What? 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 Why is it white? I think he's working today. But I think he's planning on doing a live stream tomorrow. So we're gonna have to question him. Why is it white? It's not just okay. Let's like pour it into like a full pan to make sure it's not like some weird chemical reaction that's raised the white to the top. But to me, I don't think. No, that's looking pretty intensely white to me. That's white, isn't it? I'm so confused. Oh, it smells amazing, but I don't know what he puts in the thing, but it smells really nice. I am sniffing paint, or what am I doing? Oh, like, it doesn't matter how much of this I pour out, it's white. And it's not, it's, it's what's going on? Okay, so I have a tube of some sort of white. I'm not going to swatch that because it'll just be white on white. Yes, let's get down to explain what happened. That is straight up white. It doesn't smell like whipped cream. I hope not, because I'm allergic to dairy. It smells really nice though. It faded in the tube. Richie says it faded in the tube. The laugh is making me cough. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, moving swiftly. That has never, ever, ever happened to me, ever. Oh, okay. Whew. Right, ultramarine green. By the way, the reason why Dan's paint sticks to the wrapping is purely because his paints are really, really, really rewettable, which is one of the other reasons I love his paints, and particularly his ultramarine blue. But it also means there's a lot of honey in it, and that just means it stays soft no matter how long you dry them for. So it's not like he's rushed them in like packing it at all. It just means it's a bit like Sennelier or M. Graham's in certain weather, and I know especially around here, it's just gonna stay wet, whatever you do. So if you buy one and it's like this, don't get upset. It's supposed to be like that. And that's the price you pay for having really easily rewettable paint. That is a pretty color. Let's see if I can get some more on. I'm gonna cough again. I think I'm okay. This is down from Penholder Art UK's paint for, I think it was Richard that just asked, and he very kindly gifted me these paints. That is a lovely color. That is really nice color. I love ultramarine green. We need more ultramarine greens in the world. Can we do like a Kickstarter? You really want me to swatch the white? Are you serious? Hercule Poirot says, but that probably is a white that looks green to some people. Yeah, it's maybe like that black. Okay, I'm gonna swatch this. Yeah, maybe it is like, no, like that, is it white and gold or blue and black dress thing? No, this is straight up white, guys. Okay, it's like slightly off-white, but it's not like buff. It's just white. It's literally just white. Right, then I have a few more. I know this is the same one as that, so I won't open that one. And then I got 4 more colors. This one is Midnight Blue. And Dankba says maybe the color will change. The white that's supposed to be Sailor Green might change with I don't know. He's pretty good at answering his Twitter. Eve, can you tweet him about this? Because I can't tweet at the moment. What if it glues in the dark? So this is the Midnight Blue. It re-wets so easily. Oh, I nearly painted on the white. It's so white I couldn't see it. Oh, that's a beautiful color. I know that some of these colors certainly will be on sale. Thank you, Eve. You're the super mod. She's amazing. I know that some of these colors will be up for sale on his Etsy shop that Eve just linked to in the chat. He's hoping for next month, I think. So June will be Dan's one. August, I'm hoping for a batch of paint to be able to put on sale in August myself. So a couple months of handmade paint bonanzas. No, that isn't a Prussian blue. He said that's Indantharan blue, and it's a very classic Indantharan blue. It's just that my camera makes everything look more yellow than it is, just like very slightly. I'm making a mess here. He has so many layers. Must take him ages to wrap all this. This is a Midnight Rose. Oh, I think it's gonna peel off nicely, this one. Yeah, that's nice. And he always has the name and the pigment code. Why do I have 2 brushes? I'm so confused now. I'm just like that phthalo green white business just threw me right off. I'm gonna be confused for the rest of the stream, I think. And that is lovely. And this is PV19. And when I said, what color is this? And he went PV19. I was like, narrow it down, mate. Because there's just so many PV19 variations. Question by Cabo Art, does Great Art website ships to the US? I don't think they do. So you guys might find it difficult to get hold of that palette. But if you can find anyone that sells white night paints, you might be able to. This one came off really easily. Wow. Then you might be able to get hold of one that way. I know there are some eBay sellers that will send white night paints to the US, so they might be able to sell you guys some. Denise, I know Denise have bought from someone in Poland that will ship to the US. So nice to actually see genuine lapis. So this is just a genuine lapis lazuli, and it's a lovely, lovely color. And I know this is really expensive. And then the last one is Zircon Yellow. Vivian Wong says, I went to the local art supplies and had to stop myself from buying too many things. Please help. I'm not the place to come for help in reducing your art supplies at all, because come on, buddy. I told everyone that you were better. Keep up, please. Oh, this one's softer, so I'm just gonna peel a little bit of it. And of course, if you get paint stuck like this, you can certainly scrape some off and put it back in the pan, or start using the paint that's on the paper first, so it's not a waste at all. It's a lovely sunny yellow. So that's Dan's paints, and I'm sure some of these colors you will see, not the ultramarine green, but all the other colors. Hopefully not the phthalo green, or hopefully that's a genuine labeling mistake. The midnight blue, the midnight rose, the lapis lazuli, and the zircon yellow, you might see on his shop sale that he's going to do hopefully in July. So that's all his paints. I'm just going to put them all on here. And we need answers down on that whole phthalo green apparently issue. Right, then next up is another very, very kind gift. I've been really lucky this month with a gift. As I said to you before, yesterday I received a massive package from Canada from Eve, and it had loads and loads of lovely things, like the maple syrup sugar that tastes amazing. Richie is asking, just want to ask if Schminke is like Holbein, both no ox-gold. I think Schminke has a little bit of ox-gold. And I find the Schminke has, like, I don't want to say a paler color. I just find the colors of Holbein a little bit stronger than the very limited number of Schminke colors that I've tried. And art supply wise, she has sent me many more stickers of the Permade, because I love her Permade. I have them. I have one on my journal. This is like my life. I look at it every day, and I have her permade and also her hoarding dragon. You can get both of these and many more, like this sticker and lots of other things on her Redbubble shop, which I am so sorry I forgot to link, but I'm sure Eve can put it in the chat. And if you remind me later, or if you just send me a message on Twitter now to add that link, then I will do that in and edit the description later. Thank you, Eve. Thank you for being super awesome mod. And so, they're just so cute. I love her cats. Her cats are my favorite cat illustrations, I have to say. Not just because like she's like a really good friend of mine, but I mean, even before we got to really know each other, I've always loved her cats just because they're so adorable. And then we did, so you're just gonna find lots of this around my house stuck to lovely, wonderful, random things. And then we also did a paint swap. She packed this so much better than what I'm presenting you as. And if you put your, what's the other one? Society 6 shop as well. I just opened it, had a peek, and then closed it again very badly, but she did a much needed job. We did a paint swap of Daniel Smith's colors. And so this is what I received from her. Not gonna swatch this because there's just way too many. But I can tell you what colors I got, at least. Because she very kindly and neatly labeled them all. So this is Rose Madder Permanent. Purpurite Genuine. I love Purpurite Genuine. Antiquinadone Red. Carmine. Kingsman Green Turquoise Genuine. Garnet Genuine. Payne's Payne's Blue Grey. Now that is a color that I cannot get hold of over here, certainly from Jackson's, because for some reason they don't have that color. So I am very grateful. I mean, I'm very grateful that she sent me all this, because it's, you know, paint swaps are the best way to get hold and try lots of paints. And then Bloodstone Genuine. You know, like the ones that you're not sure if you're going to enjoy it or not, and you just want to try a little? Definitely paint swaps. Olive Green. Chromium Green Oxide. Rare Green Earth. Graphite Grey. Duochrome Arctic Fire. Duochrome Oceanic. Iridescent Scarab Red. I used to have a dress that was basically iridescent scarab red. There we go. Iridescent electric blue. Eve is saying this was so overdue. I think you bought many of these in tubes in the time it took me to get this out. Actually, only two. The purpurite I got, and then the Kingsman Green I only got because I needed it for something else. The iridescent electric blue, but other than that I don't have any of these, so don't worry. I'm very grateful that you sent me these. Interference Lilac. SB, what's SB? Can't remember what SB stands for. Oh, Sleeping Beauty Turquoise Genuine. That's it. Duochrome Tropic Sunrise. Interference Silver. Interference Green. Duochrome Hibiscus. Her handwriting is so cute. Iridescent Garnet. And Iridescent Sapphire. So many beautiful paints. And I'm sure we agreed on 16. There's definitely more than 16 here. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. They are so beautiful, and I am gonna put them in my paint swap palette very soon, like after this. I'm just gonna keep it like this so it doesn't go all over the place. And then she also sent me a Kano pigment. Snow Sparkle Gem asks, which seller is that? Definitely gonna bookmark them. You mean the paint swap? If you're talking about the paint swap, let me know if you're talking about the paint swap or not. The other thing she sent me, amongst lots of other things, was a ultramarine violet PV15 from Karma Pigments, and I'm really excited because Karma Pigments are Canadian. I've left a link to them as well down below, and because of that, because of shipping and stuff, it's just really not affordable for me to try their pigments, and so I'm very excited. They put they put their pigments in glass jars. This is like the first pigment I've ever had that came in a glass jar. No wonder their shipping is so high. I mean, the shipping weight is so much heavier, but it is also really nice to have a glass jar for their pigments. I wonder if they do like different options of containers, because there's more weight in the glass than the pigment. So yeah. So that's all the things except the Crema order that I bought or got or received or was very generously given to. So let's move on to the motherload of Karma pigments. I got this 2 days ago and I haven't gone through them. So are you ready for this? Can you see the size of the box? It says for the Karma pigments, it's the glass jar is only for the 4-ounce volume containers. The rest ship in bags. That's very sensible. Are you ready for this? There's one. There's two. There's many. And there's many more. Big. Many more. I told you, it's a mother load. Right, so I'm just going to get everything out of their bag. Apart from, you know, what's individually wrapped bags. Now, I'm going to have to ask the assistance of my wonderful moderator for this one, because I know Crema labels come in German, so I might need to get her to look up what some of these colors are if I can't figure it out by product code. So if you could just pull up the Crema website ready for me, please. I didn't think about this one. So I don't know if you noticed in the ready-made, the watercolors that I've already made into pigment paints, they're quite earthy colors. And the reason why they're quite earthy colors is because I started off at the cheap end of the pigments so that I can build up some experience and some confidence and learn how to make paints in general. But obviously, me being me, I want really bright colors. So this order was all about pigments that are a little bit more expensive, not like hugely more expensive, but a little bit more expensive, and hopefully have brighter colors so that I can have a bunch of paints that are bright and a bunch of paints that are more earthy tone to be able to offer you. Oh, thank you, Eve. Stacey says I'm a bit jealous. That's totally okay. That's totally okay. You can be jealous. I would be. Yes, Eve's definitely the best moderator ever. Thank you for being my moderator. You know what's really weird? I don't know what this one is. Eve 45202. But I mean, this is 100 gram. Because I always only order like 100 gram or less for a color that I've never tried before. Why are we getting bleached out? Let's just adjust the light amount, shall we? There we go, so you're not getting blinded. There we are. Oh, thank you, Eve. So this is 100 gram. This is also 100 gram. So this is much lighter. But what's really weird is that it feels like flow. Do you remember flow? It's like fluffy. It's, hang on, I'm gonna get it out of this bag. But it's like these feel like, you know, how flour feels if you put it in a plastic bag. It has some weight to it and, you know, whatever. But this one, I've never had a pigment that feels like this before. It feels like flow. It's, sorry, not lighter, less dense. Thank you, Paolo, for correcting my physics terms. Yeah, it's a less dense pigment, so you get more volume for the same 100 grams. Yeah, I have A-level physics. I'm so sorry that I mixed that up. It was just excitement, I think. It just feels really soft and fluffy. It's really weird. Eve says it's Prussian Blue Luxe. So this is Prussian Blue Luxe, and it's a lot less denser pigment than all the other ones apparently. And you get a massive bag for the same amount of weight. And I might just keep this as like a stress bag because it feels really nice. So that's Prussian Blue Luxe. Do you want to do the bottles first or the bags first? No, do not apologize for correcting my scientific terms. I should know better. So thank you for correcting me. Eve says that the Prussian Blue Luxe is going to get up my nose. Just have a drink. Vomika asks, question Otto, speaking of German, have you ever tried bamboo mixed media paper? No, I haven't. From Hannah Muley. No, I haven't tried any of the Hannah Muley papers. I have noticed that Hannah Muley is doing the rounds for reviews. So hopefully, maybe I'll get a sample to review. Who knows? Although I'm not really a review channel, so probably not. Right. Next up is Carmine, I think. Eve 23403. I assume it would be Carmine. It's a bright red. I'm very much looking forward to making this. I'm just craving brighter colors for my handmade paints so that I can have a good range and obviously be able to offer paint that kind of goes along with my reputation for loving bright colors. And then this is Phthalo Blue. It's very blue. It's like so intensely blue. This is Primary Blue, I think. Eve 23050. And then this is Dioxazine Violet. Actually, the particles are really big. I can see that big particles. That's not going to be fun to mold. This is Hosterperm Pink. It's a magenta color. As you can see, it's really, really bright. And then I think this is Pyro Orange. This is going to be the Isoindolin Yellow. You're saying, sorry, I got confused by Crema. What confused you? Brilliant Yellow? And they're not lying. It is very, very bright yellow. Yeah, Prussian Blue. A lot of companies do say it's light fast, and it's not. If you check out Denise's Instagram, she did a light fastness test, and it's the one color that like started fading immediately. And I know like people say, oh, if you put it back in the drawer, it'll, you know, it will come back to its original color. But for a lot of people, that's not that's not light fastness. I mean, that's not light fast, and B, it's not really practical for what they're producing. Like if you're producing originals to be framed and displayed on the wall, then that's not really ideal. So yeah, Prussian Blue you do have to be careful with. This is Permanent Red, very, very bright red. So the first red was Carmine Red. Thank you. Right, and the bags. Oh, I know what this is. This is Victoria Green. And for some reason, for all this pale green color, Victoria Green is a lot more expensive than the other kind of green earth, kind of light green color. So I thought I'd give it a try to see if it was any different, because even if I end up like selling one hue, like one pigment from a certain hue, I want to be able to try as many different pigments of that hue as possible, and then be able to for you maybe like the best one or the most interesting version of that hue. And they do, Crema has lots and lots of like light green, soft green, earthy green colors, so I'm trying as many as I can afford to, so that I can offer you the best like earth greens and pale greens. This is Manganese Violet. I think, guessing this is Zirconium Cerulean, but could you check this one for me, please, Eve? It's 45400. While I have a drink. So I'll put that aside until Eve can let us know what that is. This will be ultramarine violet of some description. This is the synthetic Caput Mortuum, and the reason why I've gone for the synthetic rather than the genuine stuff is because I did try to mold the Caput Mortuum dark, and it just wasn't what I imagined Caput Mortuum to be. To me, the ultimate Caput Mortuum is the Sennelier Caput Mortuum, and I want to get it something close to that, and this was nowhere near. It was really grainy, and it was a lot like Lunar Earth. It had a black layer and a brown layer. I'm like, no, that's not what Caput Mortuum is to me. It might not be like what someone else defines Caput Mortuum to me, but like as a paint maker, I want to be able to create the hue and the behavior and the paint that I feel should be of that name. Oh, thank you. Somebody said that is ultramarine violet reddish light. Thank you. And then this is synthetic indigo. So yeah, that's the mother load of pigment holes. And since we got plenty of time, shall we start doing some paint mulling? Maybe? What do you think? Thank you, E.T. for... Okay, what does this one say, E.T.? I'm sure this is chromium... Not chromium. Cerulean zirconium. Oh yeah, Eve said this is zirconium cerulean blue. Yeah. So this is awesome because it's like a synthetic version of the cerulean. So it's amazing for people who are maybe avoiding the toxic colors. I certainly don't want to be making pigments with super toxic colors because that's where the toxicity really comes into play. If you're just painting with them, you don't really have to worry too much. Unless you have a very particular sensitivity to a certain chemical, you don't really have to worry about it. However, you're going to get into also trouble if you start inhaling these toxic fumes or start eating them. I mean, we all know, don't eat paint. Kids, don't eat paint. But if you start making your own pigments, I mean, obviously you wear the right respirators and stuff, but I personally don't want to, like, say, be making paints with cadmiums and ceruleans and stuff. And so I thought this is a great alternative. So yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do is have a little break and then set up for paint making. If you want to vote as while I get ready for what color you want me to mold first, I will leave all the colors out. So you can just, sorry, I know it's in German, I'm sorry. Then yeah, I'm gonna just go for a break and then I'll set up the paint making. Right, paint making. Let's clear some space. Right, definitely move the original artworks out the way. Not getting paint on that for sure. And these. This. I'll need that. I'll need that. Right. I can clear these away for now. You are no. Okay. We can do this. We can do this. Right, definitely put that out of the way. How's the voting going? That phthalo green is still white. I just want to say. order. Fiona is saying, I just finished an artwork oil paint and was wondering if I could spray it to hairspray to fix it in place. No. Okay. First of all, hairsprays should never be used to fix anything onto anything for art. The reason why that is because hairspray, although it works fantastic in, hang on, I'm not even on camera show, am I? Although it works perfect in fixing any like dry powder pigments, so like the pastels and charcoals and stuff, it has nothing, or it has stuff that will yellow over time, so you never ever want to use hairspray for fixing dry mediums, right? You want to use a proper setting spray that is designed for art, because those are designed to not yellow. In terms of spraying it on top of oil paint, I don't even know where, like, I really don't think you should. Partly because I don't think that's going to fix anything. With oil paint, you want to use a proper varnish that is meant for varnishing onto oil paint. Right, I'm just going to move all this off for a second. So, like, if you're doing a quick sketch and like, you know you're not going to keep it, then sure, but that's still for dry things. Right, what do I need? I need the mat. And then I have a new mulling board. This is my new mulling board, and as you can see, it's already frosted. What I did with it, this is just a little bit bigger, which is great because it means I can easily mull a large amount. I'm really sorry about the reflections. I'm just, there you go. And yesterday I used cobonium, I think, that Eve sent me, just to rough up the surface, which I've never done before. And it just needs a good wipe again to rough up the surface. And oh my goodness, I don't know if you've ever done it. I'm not in shot again. I don't know if you've ever done it, but it makes the most horrific noise. Like, I cannot stress to you how awful the noise is. It's just terrifyingly loud. And like, I mean, we live in a small flat shop, but my husband, who was in the other room, came in, and he never like comes in. He's going, what on earth is that noise? I'm like, sorry, it just kind of has to be done. It's, you know, it's a one-off thing, never has to be done. But I am still getting shiny particles off it, and I don't know how to get rid of it yet. I've washed it in the shower several times, scrubbed it. Still getting this shiny stuff coming off. It's just awful noise. Basically, I had my noise cancelling headphones in, I had my music on full blast, and I could still hear it, the grinding noise. Not only could I still hear it, but when I take my very loud music headphones off, like off my ear, I realized that it's actually quieter than the noise that this thing was making. It's loud. I didn't realize you could make something that loud. Just unbearably loud. Right, what am I doing? paint making kit. I don't know if you noticed, but there is a new addition to the room, and there's a bookcase here, this area, and we got a IKEA bookcase, you know, the standard Billy bookcase, and because of that weird height of that built-in storage, I actually got a shelf extension on top of a half Billy to make the most of that space, and got lots and lots of baskets like this and smaller, and I've just filled it with stuff and one of it is my paint making basket. One good thing though is that I did used to have a chip in here. This is my glass muller, and I did have a chip in here from grinding I've never know how to say it, and I'm always really worried that I'm going to end up swearing, but that colour, I'm sure Eve will know what I mean and she'll be able to type it out in the chat for you. And the carbonite actually ground the muller down as well, to the point that the chip is now gone, so that's nice. Right, binder, honey. I've started to put this Scottish heather honey into my paints, and it's lovely stuff. It smells wonderful, and it also just makes the paint easier to re-wet, so I'm very happy with that. So although I'm still sticking to Schmincke binder, and I did some research into making my own and stuff, and I'm just happy with Schmincke's binder for the pure reason that they have proper preservatives in them, rather than having to rely on like clove oil, which I know it can fail in certain very certain specific situations and stuff, and whereas this has proper preservatives in that I feel a lot more comfortable about. I just realized my new palette knife is peeling because I very stupidly used it on the carbonite. That's not good, is that? Well done me, well done. Right, what else do I need right now? Nope, that's all I need right now. What was I talking about? I can't remember. So have we decided what color you want first? Yeah, the honey, it's amazing honey. And I eat and drink this all the time, but it's just, it has a faint smell of the heather bush, and it's so nice. So I really wanted to put a Scottish twist in my paint, and I did lots of research into Scottish pigment factories, and we basically have none. So I can't do it that way. And then I have this Scottish heather honey, which is also really nice because it's one of my mum's favorite honey, and so it's also nice to be able to put like that kind of element into my paints as well. So all my paints will have Scottish heather honey in them. Manganese violet, sure, no problem. I just need some kitchen rolls. David's asking what's the correct sugar water ratio. It really depends. The problem with making paints is that so many factors depend on so many things. Like I could tell you how much I put on my how much honey I put in mine, and you know, you get your own local honey or any other kind of honey, and it's just not going to work. So when you ask amount questions to paint makers, they're not being vague because they want to hide their recipe. I mean, some people I'm sure do, but the reason why we can only give you vague amounts is because it just really depends, partly on, you know, like for your question, depends on what kind of honey you're using, what kind of binder you're using, and then, you know, what kind of pigment you're using. and also what kind of weather you've got. So it's just so many different factors going on that, you know, I can tell you that you only need a little bit, and I can show you how little bit that is, but it's not necessarily going to work with your setup. So please forgive me if I end up giving you like a vague answer to any of your paint making questions. It's not me trying to be vague to hide my skills. It's just, you know, when I have a clear answer and I don't want to give you the answer, I will just let you know. I will say, hey, you know, this is something I worked on, and you know, we all have to work on to figure it out, so I don't want to tell you. You know, I'll just come out straight out if I don't want to tell you. But like in questions like that, if I'm like being vague, it's not me being evasive after. Dan! Okay, Dan's in the chat room. We got questions for you, Dan. Dan, you're phthalo green. You're phthalo green. Remember you gave me phthalo green? PG7. We're very, very confused by it. I'm waiting for him to reply to in the chat. We've all been waiting. You know your phthalo green? Hang on, let me grab it. This, your phthalo green. It's white. And I've poured like a whole pan's worth just to make sure it wasn't some weird chemical reaction. And it's still white. Were you pulling a prank or was it a mistake? Because it confused all of us. It was a lovely white. But what happened? Dan, you've gone quiet. Talk to us. We were so confused. I mean, I was just like, I mean, watch the play back the live stream once this finished, but we were all so confused as to why this was white. Oh, that was meant for Eve. Do you want me to send it to Eve? Because I've got a package going. So, has Eve received the phthalo green? Well, I'm still very grateful for all your paints, and I have spoken many, many, many wonderful words about it. But yeah, this was a great laugh and a highlight of this live stream, so thank you. Right, so Eve's gonna get the green and I've got the white. I think is what happened. It was just funny, that's all. Thank you so much for your paints. Right, so we're doing manganese violet, right? I need my gas mask and I'm gonna look lovely and fetching. And it does amazing things to my hair. Oh no, hang on. Yeah, I might as well just put this on. Oh, it's gouache. Dan says it's white gouache. Oh, that's interesting. Right, I'm in. I want like the pink. Can you hear me okay through this? I want like how many? Okay, I'm gonna start off this. So I've got the binder, the honey. I'm just gonna open this ready. Oh well, thank you very much for white gouache. Yeah, I'll send you the tube. I can't take that. Eve, can you send me a message on Twitter to just remind me to send you that tube of phthalo green white gouache? So I'm going to mix the binder and the honey first, just so that I can make sure that the honey is mixed all the way through, rather than in a clump somewhere just being honey on its own. What am I doing? This is the wrong spoon. This is completely the wrong spoon for this. And now I don't know what to do. I'm going to have to just wipe it off. Right, hold on. I didn't want to scrape it and put it back in the jar because I don't want any contaminants going to the jar. So I'm just going to have to wipe it off instead. Okay, start again. Take two. Let's get the spoons ready, because I actually need a big spoon for the pigment. Goodness, I'm not with it today. I'm sorry. Well, Dan, I'm still very, very, very grateful for all the beautiful paints, and I showed it off to everyone. We've swatched it, and they were all very beautiful. And I told them that your paint is going to be on sale next month. Right, the correct spoon is this one. Goodness, it's so warm. It's too warm to be wearing this mask. Start off with that. We'll see how it goes. Little bit of honey. This is how much I put in. Just a little bit. And I just want to make sure that the honey is blended all the way in. Right, and then the pigment. This is manganese violet. Come on. Thank you. Right, let me just clean that spoon off. What pigment number? Hold on, let me answer questions once I've got the mask off. Just getting all the pigments off now before I set those. Okay, hold on a second. Throwing things around. Just gonna seal this off. Ooh, it's getting darker. I always get excited when I mix the binder and the pigment and it gets darker. It excites me very much. Now tell me if the mulling sound gets too much and I'll turn the volume down. Wow, that looks black on the screen. It's not, it's a lovely... No, there's no getting to show you how... It's like a really nice royal purple. Right, I can take this off now. Oh. Whew. Hello. Right, the pigment question first. It is PV16. To be precise, it's PV16.77742. Is the pigment? So I'll pull it all off the palette as well. Right, let's start mulling. Well, that mixed really easily, which is nice. I think there was another question. Richie says, do you mix your own violets or is PV23 a must? Is it useful for mixing different shades of red and blue? Do you mean in terms of pigments or in paints on a palette? Right, this is the first time I'm going to mull with this glass that's been carbonated. So we'll see how loud it is. Is this okay for you guys for sound? Or do you want me to... This is just distilled water. If you see me using two sprays, I have two. And I painted this one gold to let me know that this is a distilled water and this is just normal tap water. So I use this for cleaning with, and I only use this if I want to add water into the paint. I'm getting bleached out here, aren't I? Come on, you can do this. You can handle this. There we go. I don't know if it's because I've roughed up the surface, or if manganese violet is an easy pigment, but it is mulling beautifully already. It's actually really nice to be able to mull on a bigger surface. Bestie was asking, how was the Caput Mortuum? The Caput Mortuum dark that I did not like it. It mulled fine, but it's not what I want to create for Caput Mortuum. It was like a dual tone, as in two tones. It was definitely a separation of colors between the black and a brown, and it was more like lunar earth, or yeah, a lunar earth. Sorry, I'm just looking at some color swatches there of Daniel Smith colors, where you get like black speckles on a brown background, and I don't want that for my caput mortuum. I want like a very uniform, creamy, almost opaque. Oh, it's so nice to move. Caput mortuum. So I'm not going to offer that particular pigment that I got from Crema as a paint. Right, I'm just going to do a patch test because it's going to need time to dry. Ooh, it's really nice. It's playing havoc with the white balance though and the brightness of the camera. It's really nice. It's amazing how dark this looks. But in reality, it's not. It's like a creamy royal color, purple. Not like this dark black that it's showing on the screen at all. It's playing havoc, isn't it? Yeah. What if I do this? I'm just waving this to make it dry faster. I'm glad it's looking purple on your screen, Eve. It's pretty much smooth already. I'm impressed at how fast it moves. I'm just gonna scrape the stuff off the edges. Just so they can have a nice, I can make sure that everything's moved nicely. Don't think it's gonna need more than the binders I've already put in it. But we'll see. It's so warm today. I have the windows closed because obviously I don't want any outside noise to come in. And my room is so warm now. Yeah, I'm so sorry that like the lightness is going haywire. It's don't know how to fix this. Maybe take the color intensity down a bit. Nope, that just makes me look black and white. That's not good. I'm so sorry that the calibration is acting up. I will like do this color as quickly as I can and then move on to a lighter color. I'm sorry, this is like the first time I've molded a darker color and I did not realize how much it was going to mess up the brightness. So if you are sensitive to like light changes, please just like switch this live stream off. I don't want you to like have fits or anything. I have got my lights on for filming so that you could get like a more even light rather than the natural light, because that can be quite changeable. And that usually solves the problem with all of my if I have any of this like blinking level of light issue, but it is definitely playing havoc with this color. Right, I'm gonna try and dry this as quickly as possible. I mean, this is mold. It is so smooth already, and I'm pretty confident that it's got enough. But because it's ruining the live stream, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jar this up and I'm gonna mold this another time, because I don't want you to put up with the blinking light situation, because that is not good. So just bear with me while I do this, or if you just want to put me in the background behind like other screens, I will let you know when I've stopped handling this apparently crazy making paint, because I don't want you to have to deal with this at all. Because the reason why I'm like so militant on it is because I can't handle changing in brightness in other people's videos, so I don't want to put other people through that might be sensitive to this. So just put me in the back until I've scooped all this and washed this away, and I will give you a shout. See, it's ironic because I've pretty much managed to solve my light level issue on the Daniel Smith Color Showdown video. I had loads of problems. It's why it was delayed by a week, and I had like a whole week of no videos, because the I had to reshoot that first episode 3 times, and because the light levels will blinker like it is doing now, and to me, for a video that's about comparing colors, that's just not acceptable, because you can't really tell the colors at all, and you can't really look at it because, you know, it's flashing all the time. So I found a way to fix that issue, and I've got it hammered down in the videos, and I can't believe it's happening in the live stream now. Oh, life, hey. You know what that's like. Right, let's just pour all these into a jar. So I will come back and mold this at another time off camera, so you don't have to deal with this. Well, I learned something new. Don't mold darker colors. Even mold the Indanthrone blue, and she didn't have this problem. Did you use natural light or lights like this? Oh, hey Scout! How is she doing, Scout? I've got the white balance and the brightness fixed on this webcam, and yet it changes. It's like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Not. So with the other one, with the Daniel Smith Color Showdown, I actually had to get an app and film it through that in the end to solve the color balance issue. Right, that's it. And I will deal with that another time. Okay, let's clean this up. Sorry about that. We will do a lighter color next, and hopefully we don't have this problem. Otherwise, I'm going to throw a scissors fit and throw the webcam out the window. Because if it happens on the lighter one, it means there's something wrong with the camera. And I'm not going to be happy with it, because I've not had it for long. Right, let's clean. Oh, Eve says, I don't have that issue much when I film unless I manually refocus, then it might change the white balance too. Is that for filming videos rather than live stream? You do go through an extraordinary amount of kitchen towels, kitchen papers when you make paint. So let's try it with a lighter color, and hopefully we won't have this blinking light level issue. Or maybe I just need to zoom out. Oh, bye Ellen. Have a good day at work. Okay, first vote for light green. Yeah, we'll try light green. That would be a good test to see if this will happen with a lighter color as well. Sorry about this. Technical difficulties, isn't that the bane of live streams? Yeah, Eve says she disables all the auto settings, and I've disabled all the auto settings as well. I have autofocus off, I have auto white balance, and and brightness off. So I don't know what's up with this right now. I will have to do some research. Let's see what I can come up with. Awesome, that's... Sorry, I just need to clean that a bit more because there's lots of purple still left. Hey Dryad! How are you today? Especially if we're doing green, I don't want any purple left on this. Almost. Okay, good. So, Victoria green? Let's try that. I'm going to just adjust the brightness again so you guys can see. And hopefully we'll have a better time. Right, let's mix the binder first. With a little bit of this Scottish heather honey. Little bit. Bit more. Little bit. Yeah, there we go. Hey Chini. Chini here, yeah. Hi Chini. We are making watercolor. You missed a whole bunch of art hole stuff. Right, let's put my fetching mask on. Here we are with the mask. Oh no! I'm so sorry to hear that, Dryad. Crema always do their bags really tight. Come on. Oh, I'm so sorry that Dryad lost her uncle yesterday and Snow Sparkle Gem lost their aunt on Monday. Oh, I am so sorry that you guys lost people that are very, very close to you. My deepest condolences for both of you, because that's hard. Okay. I have a sneaky suspicion this one is going to make some noise. Reason I can tell is it came clean off the spoon. See, it just fell off. And that usually means it's going to be a bit of a grind. And a noisy one. So I'll turn the mic off. Not off, but down if it gets too loud. So let me know if it gets too loud. Yeah, it's been a really rough week for a lot of people. I hope next week's going to be better for everyone. Right, and this is PG51. Feels like clay. This is Victoria Green. It's quite stringy. It's weird. But I can take this off. I'm gonna have a drink. Good question. What is PG51? Eve, would you mind looking that up for us, please? Oh, my throat is really dry today. I woke up so dry. I don't know what happened. But my lips were dry, my throat was really dry, and my skin was dry last night. Okay, that's a good consistency. It's really nice green actually. It's like green pea soup kind of color. Let me just fiddle with the brightness to see if I can get it closer to what I'm seeing. About that much. And we'll keep an eye on how the white balance and stuff goes. Even though it's set to manual. I don't understand. Oh no, it's quite smooth. I thought it was going to be hard to no, but it's not at all. It's nice. How's the light level? Or like mushy pea. Or sage. I've got really scratchy throat. I feel a cough coming up. Have to say, maple sugar and soy milk works better for me, I think, than heather honey and milk. Ghana is a, yeah, it's a precious gemstone. Sorry, I'm just kicking the chair that the webcam is bolted onto. There we go, we're straight on now. I'd say this is already moved. I'm just going to put a sample out. Let's see how it looks. It's nice pale green. I'll show you a comparison with some other colors. So this is Nicosia green. It's quite close to Nicosia green, but brighter green. It's a Victorian green garnet. Is produced by high temperature calcinating a mixture of calcium oxide, chromium oxide and silicon oxide in a variety ratio to form a crystalline garnet matrix. Bright, very light, fast, transparent, chromium-based silicate pigment which can easily be worked in with most mediums. It says, do not eat, drink, sorry, do not eat, drink, smoke when using this product. In case of inadequate ventilation, wear respiratory protection, which I did, but I did also drink at the same time. Oops. I will learn my lesson then. Thank you for that warning. Thank you very much for all that information, Eve. It's a little bit brighter green than Nicosia green, but very similar in terms of intensity and the tinting strength. That is Verona green earth. It's obviously a lighter green. Yes, hi Berkia. We are making watercolor paints. This is a Victoria green. And this is synthetic malachite over here. So it's really nice. And I'm pretty confident with that tinting strength that the amount of binder I put in is okay. That it's going to be enough. It's really smooth. It's even smoother than the manganese violet that I was mulling earlier. I don't know if it's that the roughing up the mulling surface is helping a lot, or if this was just an easy color to mull, but it's like it's done. It's very smooth. I just need to wait for the I'm just gonna move the camera because I can see that the chair that it's on is touching the table, and so I'm hoping this will make it wobble less. There we go, that's better. It's really nice color. So I've been requested to make mulling paints where it's just like video of me mulling and some relaxing music, because some people thought that would be a nice relaxing watch. Is that something you guys think is a good idea? Grace, hello Grace, nice to see you. Did I put the wrong time again on for the Pacific Standard Time? I always worry that I get that timing wrong. For those of you just come in, this is Victoria Green from Crema. And I have a new mulling surface. And it's lovely. Just gonna spray it a little with some distilled water. Hi Day, thank you so much. Wow, it's midnight. Where are you? Thank you so much for staying on till midnight. I really appreciate it. It's really nice color to mull. It's lovely to mull. I hope it works out because this will be a joy to make into paints. wow, midnight. Where's midnight right now? It's drying nicely. Just gonna scrape everything towards the center again so that you can have a nice mix. I'm sorry if you don't like this sound. It's not like nail down the blackboard kind of level though. I'm really happy despite the horrific noise. Night night Dryad, that I use the carbonite on this surface because I'm pretty sure it's making the mulling process much quicker. Oh, Snow Sparkle Gem is 11 p.m. So where are you in Asia? Yeah, Japan will be, if it's 5, then it will be 2 o'clock in the morning right now in Japan. So I'm assuming west of that, Japan. Well, I think pretty much all Asian countries are west of Japan. Robin says, I would love to enjoy a video with mulling and beautiful music. Yeah, sure. I'll see if I can get one done. And then you won't have to hear the scraping noises or the grinding noises. You'll just see me do this with some lovely classical music without my face. Oh, it's so nice to be mulling. Indonesia, nice. Not been to Indonesia. My husband has. He spent like a month in Indonesia with Operation Opal because his first degree is actually in marine biology. So he went on Operation Opal to do some marine conservatory studies in Indonesia. He said it was on some small island. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are sweet. But I'm pretty sure I've put enough binder in because now that I've done a few, I've got a feel for like how much binder I need for certain kind of tinting strengths. Yeah, it's fine. It's not even fully dry and there's nothing coming off. So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pan this and then let's do another color. Oh, I really want to do the zirconium chromy, zirconium cerulean. Would you guys be up for that? Hi Robin. Oh, you're from Texas. Texas is awesome. Not been, but your food is amazing. And one of my good friend, I think, is from Texas. He's without his friendship, I wouldn't be living in this flat. So yeah, Texas made this apartment possible for me. Yay! He now lives in a cave house in Spain with his wonderful wife. But basically, since I'm clearing up and that's pretty boring to watch, I'll tell you the story of how Texas made this apartment happen for me. basically, it's a friend of mine, it's a couple, and they had a website. They don't anymore, but for many years they had a website because they are Americans, but they sold up, saved up, and then went traveling. And so they had a website that was about traveling on a budget and also minimalist travel, because you won't believe this with my art studio, but the rest of my life I'm a minimalist. I know, hard to believe with my art, right? And before I got into art, I was super hardcore minimalist. And when I travel, I'm still a hardcore minimalist. When we went on the road for a year and a half, both of us traveled with just a 30-liter backpack per person. And that's it. No front pack, none of that nonsense. Just a, pretty small backpack. And that was it. And they were like, why I got really into doing all that minimalist and getting rid of stuff. And basically they were in Edinburgh for a month, and I saw that, and it coincided with me coming up to Glasgow, because I didn't live in Edinburgh back then. I lived down south. So I messaged them going, hey guys, like I'm like nearby, like it'd be really awesome if if we get to meet you. And they were like, yeah, sure, if you're in Edinburgh, you can come and stay with us. It was like, okay, okay. And me being, typical British, reserved, I was like, I'm not sure. Like, I know a lot about them, but, only what they put on their blog. And hang on, I just need to get some pans. And I don't really know them. They could still be murdering serial killing psychopaths. We don't know. You don't know. But I don't know. Something in me just went, just go for it. It'll be fine. I wasn't going to be on my own. I was going there with my then boyfriend at the time. And oh, I just spilled it. Let me just clean that up first. And I could always leave. So, but I mean, if you knew them, they are so nice that I didn't really worry that much, to be honest. So I went, yeah, why not? Live dangerously. And the flat they were staying at was this apartment. So this used to be a holiday let, and my landlady lives over in America, so she lets out mostly to other travelers because she likes to support travelers. And now I have paint on my finger that won't come out. Great, it's chromium. I don't really want it going into my skin. Come on, come out. There we go, that's better. Right. And then obviously I parted with that boyfriend, but I met my man that became my husband, and we decided to move to Edinburgh. And when it came to the question of what do we do about where to live, and I said, well, like, I know a flat. I don't know if it's going to be available or if they'll be open to do long-term let, but we could ask. And so my American friends got in touch with my landlady and connected us, and that's how I got this apartment. And I've lived here for 7 years now. So yeah, that is the long-winded explanation of how Texas helped make this apartment happen, while I do the panning, which always takes time. It's very relaxing though to do. I love mulling. I think I basically became a paint maker because I needed something relaxing like paint making in my life. And if I get really irritable, James will ask when's the last time I mulled paint now, because he knows if I go for too long without mulling paints, then I get irritable. Don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Not long now. Thank you for bearing with me while I pan this. So yeah, that is a story in taking lots of chances, which I do believe in. Otherwise I wouldn't have made this channel in the first place. Don't know if I've got a full pan's worth here, but let's not waste paint. It's like quite a stringy, not stringy, but like I don't know how to describe this. Eve, do you know what I mean? Like when it doesn't just straight fall. So I'm gonna put this on my drying rack. Yeah. And I'll clean this and then we can make one last colour. Does that sound good? Robin says, is it hard to find a place in Edinburgh? Like any capital city, rent is expensive and good flats go really fast. So I was really lucky that I got the flat I wanted and that they were willing to rent it out long term instead of what they used to do, which was holiday lets. So I have a really good landlady and we've been very, very happy living here. I don't know about Power Orange just because my camera's playing havoc with me at the moment. I mean, I could try, but will you forgive me if the light balances go? Because I think both of you missed it, but when I just tried to make Manganese Violet, the brightness kept changing even though it's set to manual. It will still auto adjust because it was such a dark, bright, I don't know what it was about that color that it didn't like, but it just kept changing settings constantly. So if you don't mind that may happen with Power Orange, I will do that because I know how much Paolo likes orange, and literally I bought that color for Paolo because I thought he would like that color. Grace says rent goes up in Seattle. Rent goes up every year. Is that the same for you? Yes. In Edinburgh, normally the rent will go up every year. However, my landlady, as I said, she's amazing, and she's only increased my rent once in 7 years. So I've got a really good deal. I have an amazing deal, so I consider myself very lucky. Right, Pyro Orange. Yeah, I've locked the exposure. I've locked, it's my webcam, and the controls I have are white balance, color intensity, contrast, and brightness, and they're all set to manual. So it should be locked down, but apparently it's not. So I don't know what to do. Paolo, I'm going to send you a sample of this when it's done, so you're going to need to send me your address, because I bought that color for you. Right, I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to mix my binder first. So I don't know why it keeps changing when it shouldn't be changing. I will research it, but I'd be really annoyed if it's a camera thing, because I only bought this, and this is like the good Logitech camera that everyone recommended, and it wasn't cheap, so right. And then the Scottish heather honey smells so good, so nice. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, like many of you guys know this, but I hate orange. Just saying. So I'm not going to enjoy this, but this is for Paolo, because he is always really early. Always early to my live stream. And he keeps me on my toes when I use my scientific terms incorrectly, which I really appreciate, because you know, when you have like a PhD in a scientific subject, you think you can get your basic terms right. So I really appreciate that about him, and he always brings really interesting chemistry information to pigments that I really appreciate as well. So it's the least I can do for him. It is the Logitech. What camera is this? Hello. I don't know what model number is. Geckoin, I will, if I remember, I will email you the model number. Oh, it's a Logitech webcam C920. Oh my goodness, it's so warm in this room. I can't wait to open the window. Thank you, Geckonia. She's amazing. No, I'm sorry, Fiona. It's not suitable for vegans because I use honey. Making vegan-friendly paints a little bit more involved, and you know, I'm still a beginner painter. And also, I really wanted to put something Scottish in here. And oh, this is so orange. Can you get off, please? Okay, I need a level. Yeah, that's about a level teaspoon. Oh, it's so orange. It's so orange. Oh, I don't like orange. But we'll see. This was the oh my god, it's orange. But if you want vegan watercolor, handmade watercolor, I made from Eventually Everything Mixes, does vegan watercolor. Holbein, of course, is vegan. Denise has done a whole video that has huge amount of research. Oh, it's so orange, it's orange, it's orange. Huge amount of research into what commercial brands are vegan. So if you are vegan wanting to do watercolor challenge, I recommend that you check out Denise's video. Her username is in liquid color. But yeah, my watercolors aren't vegan because I really wanted to put the heather honey in there. Right.
It's so orange. Will it go darker or stay about the same hue? I know this is gonna need another spoonful. Yeah, it's a pretty orange. It was the most, like, I felt like I could bear this orange more than some other oranges, so. It's so orange. Orange, orange, orange. I'll be surprised if this doesn't blow out the camera. Bye, Fiona. Oh, you do not like to mix, do you? Of course, the one color that I don't like to make is gonna be the pain one. Come on, mix. Be nice. It's getting so warm. Right now, this room is getting direct sunlight. I've got the blind closed though to try to keep the room cooler. Trying to keep my poor Jazz the hamster cool in this weather has been interesting. We have to keep hand bottle feeding her water just to encourage her to drink as much as she can to keep her cool. Hopefully things will cool down after today. Oh my goodness, that's so orange. Let me see if I can adjust the lightness to show you. Yeah, that's about right. It's very orange. Right, let's try mulling this. I can take this off now.
Oh, hey, welcome back, Fiona. Yeah, sorry it's not vegan watercolor. It's so orange. You know what? Yeah, it's orange, but I'm not hating it as much as I do with other oranges. So we'll see. This is P036 if you want the pigment code. Let me know if the brightness flickers like it did with the manganese blue, manganese violet. It's looking pretty steady so far. It's definitely more grainier. It's definitely going to need more work put in. Oh, it's so orange. This orange actually reminds me of the ink pad that you use. There's a particular shade of like orangey red color we use for our Hanko, which is our name stamps. Is the brightness going again? We'll keep an eye on that. Hanko, which is our name stamp, which acts instead of signatures in Japanese culture. So like your banks and stuff is all done with your name stamp called Hanko, and there is a particular ink that you have to use with that for official documents, and this looks like that color. So what do you think of this, Paolo? It's definitely grainier. It's got lots of lumps. It's gonna need a lot of elbow grease. That's okay. That's the whole point of milling them. Yeah, so it's really interesting. I wonder what it is about the manganese violet that played havoc with the brightness of the webcam. Oh, I'm so glad you love it. There will be a pan on your way at some point. It's definitely very orange. Yeah, is it vermilion? I want to kind of say it's a little bit orangier and less red than vermilion, but don't know. But there's no doubting that this is orange. If it looks red on your monitor, it's not. It's definitely an orange. Right, I'm just gonna put a sample to test. Woo! It's very orange. Orange, orange, orange. I just rinsed the brush that I used in the water. It's turned it bright orange with the small amount of orange that was on the brush. It's very, very orange. It's definitely orange. There's no doubting that. Robin is asking, do you have to press hard at this point in the milling? I mean, I do a little bit, but a lot of the work should be done between the roughed up surface of my mulling board and the roughed up surface of my muller. So it's just getting that acts as like a friction rather than me pressing it down and grinding it. Like if there's like a lump of pigment that, you know, just needs to be broken up by being gently pressed, then it will do that. But what mulling, like mulling isn't the same as grinding the pigment smaller, especially if it's like a hard pigment. I know I heard that the garnet from Crema is a nightmare, and you can't really make it into a watercolor because it's just such a hard gemstone, and it's such a hard mineral, and the particles are just too big, and it will just scratch up everything instead. So it also depends on the pigment. Again, it's the whole, well, it depends on what you're using kind of thing. I like the way people are saying it looks like an orange juice. If your orange juice is this color, you're drinking the wrong orange juice. Like, seriously worry if this is the color of your orange juice. But this, the water, looks like a pretty good fake artificial, full of flavoring, fake artificial flavoring and coloring kind of orange. Just gonna bring all the paint towards the middle again. I think this is going to be the last color maybe, because I have a feeling it's going to take a bit of elbow grease. We'll see how it goes. I want to finish by about 6, and it's 5:39 right now. Gotta make dinner. Don't know what I'm going to make for dinner. Oh, I know what I'm making. I'm making chicken drumsticks, salad, and sweet corn, because I got some sweet corn. Honestly, since I started on this gluten-free, dairy-free journey, I make food at home so much more now, because I've tried eating it a few times. Hasn't been fun. And like when you ask for like gluten-free, dairy-free versions of stuff, it's a subtraction game. um, they'll take a dish that's supposed to have those things in, they'll pull it out, and then you just end up with a really bland thing. Like Caesar salad just becomes chicken and iceberg lettuce. That's just sadness, really. Um, Whereas at home, I can just make meals that were just supposed to not have those things in the first place. I think I want to add some more water to this. Grace says, same Otto, same. I don't eat out anymore at all, basically. I mean, I used to love eating out. I used to definitely love having takeaways. Oh my gosh, I used to be a takeaway addict. No wonder my digestive system messed up, but... Ooh. How are you drying? But now, like, a day out is like a lot of effort, a lot of planning, because I have to eat every 2 to 3 hours, 3 hours max, which means if I'm out for the day, I have to either take a whole load of food with me, which, you know, obviously that requires planning and preparation, or plan to be in the appropriate restaurant at the right time, which is very hard to do. I'm very happy with the way this is molded. Like, I can't go to any cafes anymore because not many places have not many cafes have gluten-free, dairy-free options as snacks. All the big chain cafes are now out, which means if I go on a walk that used to involve a cafe stop, then I can't do that anymore, and I have to take my own snack, and my handbag, which is usually already heavy anyways, and just like getting heavier because like I have this snack and that snack and that snack. The only like a chain place that I can eat at the moment is Pret. Never thought I'd be a big fan of Pret, but there you go. They have very very easy to read, clearly labeled thing for allergies. It's just there right next to the price, so that's amazing. And then they actually have a lot of gluten-free and dairy-free options that were designed that way in the first place. I never thought I'd be eating so much salad in my life. This is nice and smooth now. This is so nice now. It's called Pret. P-R-E-T. It's a chain in, I think it's the UK. I don't know if it's available in any other country. Just waiting for this to dry, really. But they sell, I mean, they sell like sandwiches and soups and stuff as well, but they have a huge range of salads. My favorite is their protein pot, and they have a few varieties of them. They have like boiled egg with spinach is one. My favorite is boiled egg, smoked salmon, and spinach. That's my go-to because the smoked salmon saltiness just works really well with the boiled eggs. So this is very orange, but I have to say I'm not hating it. Probably because it's very familiar color to me, with it being a very commonly used, it being close to a commonly used hue of reddy orange color in Japan. Science says, same here. I can't really eat out with all these allergies. Yeah. Because the complication is that a lot of places can do gluten-free vegan, which should solve the problem because then there'll be no dairy. However, a lot of vegan food and vegetarian food have nuts in them. I can't eat nuts because I'm also allergic to nuts. And also carrots. That's a random one that came up in a test. And indeed, I tested it by eating it and stuff and doing the dietary test. And yes, I am allergic to carrots. Maybe I was trying to remove all the oranges out of my life. It's a shame because I used to really like carrots. But yeah, it made me really ill. So no more carrots for me. And of course, what is in a lot of pre-mixed salads? Carrots. Lots and lots of shredded carrots. And shredded vegetables are really difficult to pick out. But I'm also really enjoying cooking at home. I'm trying lots of new recipes. I don't know if anyone is from New York, but there is a place called Halal Guys in New York. It's in Manhattan, several places. It's an amazing food stand. And when we were in New York, we'd eat there all the time and then like get ill afterwards because I'm sure they use dodgy chickens and stuff. But if there's one thing we miss from America food-wise, it's Halal Guys. That flavor of lots of herbs and spices. And so last night I actually pulled out a recipe from online that was like a dupe of Halal Guys recipe, and it was so good. And I don't think I would have gone to the trouble of, you know, finding a dupe recipe and trying it because it's quite an involved recipe. I don't think I would have done that had I not like had these dietary issues and have to cook at home, and my only option forever is going to be to make it myself. So I'm very grateful for that because it made my husband very happy last night to have Halal Guys again, and it was really good, and it made me happy too. So ups and downs, you know, there's always a good side to any changes. Are you dry yet? Can't tell. I'm just going to stick this in the sun. Can you just sit there and dry in the sun, please? I can't tell if it's still wet or I just put too much binder in. Oh, I'm glad that Cyan... Well, I'm not glad, Cyan, that you're allergic to carrots, but I'm also, like, glad that, like, there's somebody else who's allergic to carrots, because I feel really weird being allergic to carrots. So it makes traveling harder. I've learnt from my last travel that I actually need to stay in self-catering places now, which is a good lesson. I'm glad I figured that lesson out on like a 3 nights holiday rather than like a 2 weeks holiday. So I'm really glad we made that trip and learnt that lesson very fast. I don't mind. I love doing self-catering anyway because I really like going to like local markets wherever I am and try, you know, getting their local produce and making food from that. That to me is a big part of traveling. I love going to supermarkets in foreign countries and seeing what people buy and eat and stuff. So I really don't mind that at all. I actually find weird when I stay in hotels anyway. But we had some mileage that needed to be used up, and I found out that I could buy hotel stays in it instead. And it was our anniversary, so it was like, yay, let's stay in like a posh hotel. That we never stay in a posh hotel. We always go for budget hotels. So it was a nice treat. But I normally go for somewhere with a kitchen anyway, so that's not a big deal for me. It just narrows things down so that I know exactly what I need, which is nice. I'm gonna cough. So I'm just doing a tissue test. And this is actually the first time where I put too much binder in. So I'm going to have to put more pigment in. In which case I'm going to scrape everything into the middle. Fiona is saying, I prefer to eat at home, but Spain's getting better and better at home cooked vegan stuff. Goodness, yes, Spain and vegan. I stayed in a village in middle of nowhere in Spain. Oh, sorry, cough. Sorry about that. In a middle of nowhere village called Librin. It's in the Andalusia region. And literally everything was pork. It was pork, bacon, pork, ham, pork in another style. That's all you got was pork. It was amazing at the amount of porkness they had in every restaurant. The ironic thing being, I don't remember seeing a pig in Andalusia. I don't know where they're getting the pigs from, but I mean, I stayed in Luberon for a month. I also went to Granada, Seville, and drove through all that, the countryside. I also went to Gibraltar because my best friend is from Gibraltar and she happened to be there for her niece's christening. So we're like, we're coming over. And didn't see a pig. So I don't know where they're getting the pork from. But the countryside was full of restaurants with pork variants. So I can imagine that is hard for a vegan. Fina's asking, is your hate for orange linked to being allergic to carrots? No, because I only very recently found out that I'm allergic to carrots. Whereas, as you guys know, I've not liked orange for a very long time. I can't explain to you why I don't like orange. It's not my favorite colors in anything, especially watercolor. Right, so this is actually a really good lesson in making watercolor, in that I don't know if it will show up in this, but if you do a patch test and you see how that is shiny, right? It's dry, so it shouldn't be shiny, but it's shiny. That means you put way too much binder in. See, like with these other two colors, it's not shiny, whereas this is shiny. See the shine? And the way to fix that is just add more pigment. So I'm going to put my mask on again, hopefully for the last time, and add a little bit more pigment to it.
Oh, you live in Maria. Yes. I'm going to put about half a teaspoon. Might be too much. You know my luck, because it's my least favorite color, it's going to be a pain at me. And it's just going to be a hard paint to mix. Yeah, Armeria is not far from Ruben at all. It's actually where I flew home from, is Armeria. but I stayed in Lublin most of my time because my friend lived there. Don't live there anymore. They bought a cave house. Yes, that same Texan friend. They bought a cave house near Granada. Yes, I went to the coast and had a paella that was gorgeous. Love paella. I make paella at home now, of course. Mix, mix. We are gonna be making a lot of orange. I might just jar this up and send the jar to are you all mixed? Yes, all mixed. To Paolo. Las Negras. I think I went by Las Negras. I remember saying it. Gonna take the mask off.
Oh, Fiona says factory farms where the pigs are. Okay. I had a suspicion that that was the case because it was like lots of pork menus and no pigs on the outside. Apparently the factory farms in Spain are ginormous and really scary. Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty sure they weren't free range pork. Oh, I will. Thank you, Fiona. ET says, would you say that it's more affordable to make your own paint? Okay, so it's a twofold question. Well, it's a twofold answer to that question. And it's a yes and no. Per pan price, it's definitely cheaper to make your own paint. You're not paying for the staffing cost and all the cost that's involved in a company making this, and you're gonna be able to make huge quantities, lifetime supply for yourself, and it's gonna be so much cheaper. However, and this is the no bit, and like the equipment are very affordable if you I think there's a video, I'm sure Eve will be able to link it for you on the chat, that I did of all the equipment you'll need to start making your own watercolor paint. And I've given several ideas of cheaper alternatives. Like for me, like for example, the mulling surface, you can pay an arm and a leg for a mulling surface. Whereas I just go for glass chopping board because it's basically the same thing. They're hardened glass, so I know they're not going to shatter on me as easily. And I feel like it needs more water. I feel like I need more water. And it works just as well. And you can get a nice big piece like this. So there's lots of cheap alternatives. So getting the kit is also very affordable, and you will recoup that cost pretty easily by making your own paint. However, making paint is incredibly addictive. Like, I started off going, no, I'm just going to make ultramarine blue because I needed a large quantity of ultramarine blue for a project I had in mind, which coincidentally I haven't got around to doing because I've spent all my time making paints. And I made it, and then it was like, oh my gosh, this is such a fun process. It's so relaxing, and I get to make my own paint. It's like magic. And I got excited, and then you buy more pigments and more pigments and more pigments until we get to like somewhere resembling, you know, this whole video where you end up just spending all your money on buying pigments. So per pan, yeah, it's totally cheaper, but the overall amount of money you're going to spend because you become addicted to is a lot more. So that's why it's always a yes and no answer. Thank you very much for linking that equipment video, Eve. Right, let's hope I've done a better job. Well, that looks better already. It's really nice orange. Let's just hope it's enough. I'm just going to stick that in the sun so it can dry faster. And we just keep on mulling. Like, I don't know if there's anyone that's managed to just make one paint and then gone, yeah, that's enough for me, and never made more, because it's such a magical thing to be able to make your own watercolor paint, and then you realize like how much money you save, like per pan. It just becomes so addictive and it's so relaxing. And I've always enjoyed anything that involves taking, you know, stuff that isn't much on their own, whether that's pigments or say yarn, because I really love yarn crafts. You know, I do knitting, crochet, tapestry. I also do quilting. I also love making blankets out of yarn, because the process of being able to turn a whole bunch of wool or yarn or fabric into something that's very comforting and useful is really satisfying for me. And it's the same with the paint, in that you make taking pigment and, you know, binder and whatever else you want to put in it, and you're creating beautiful paints. How can that not be addictive, you know? You're very welcome, E.T. I hope you do give it a go, because it's such a lovely process. It's why I make paint making videos and do paint making on Livestream, because I really want other people to enjoy the experience of making their own paint. The only thing I would say though is, and I think most people will enjoy this process if you love watercolor, the only people I don't think will enjoy this process is if you're the kind of person that needs every single information spoon fed to you. And the only reason why I say that is because you guys aren't, but some people on YouTube like to have every single piece of information fed to you. And the difficulty with paint making is it's incredibly hard to do that with paint making, because of all the reasons I explained before, in that it just depends so much on so many different factors. So, you know, we're not trying to be shady and trying to protect our secrets or anything. It's just really hard to give you exact like amounts and stuff for a general thing. So you are not gonna find that much like exacting spoon-fed information for you. So if you need information and how-tos spoon-fed to you, don't take this up. But if you love exploring and like experimenting and finding out, you know, what's gonna happen, which, you know, I really love doing, then this is the perfect hobby for you as well. Science says, I just have way too expensive hobbies, fountain pens being one of them. Yes, that is an expensive one, or can be quite affordable as well. Robin's asking, what is a cape house? Cave house. Sorry, it's my pronunciation. Cave, C-A-V-E. My friends live in a cave house. It's literally dug into a bed of some rock formation of some sort. So it's a cave house. He is literally a caveman now. Sayan, I hope you do get into paint making. I'm sure you enjoy it. And I only have a video on the equipment you need, but Eve also has lots of videos of her exploration, of her learning how to make paints. So that's where I started. That's nice and dry. Let's give it a test. Can't tell. I think that passes. What do you think? Just dipped it in the tissue paint. Yeah, I think that's a pass. I'm just gonna do it on the new bit. Yeah, that's a pass, isn't it? Nothing on the tissue. Yay! We're finished with this color. So what I'm gonna do is, because like the panning thing is a little bit time consuming and it's 6 o'clock already and you guys have been here for hours, so thank you so much. So I'm gonna just wrap up. If you have any questions, just ask away now, but I'm gonna try to keep this quick because like we've been streaming for 3 hours already. I've after the stream, no, it's not shiny anymore. See, no shine. So I'm quite happy with this. Maybe a little bit shine, but it's nowhere near as bad as this. I might add a bit more after the live stream and see how that goes, but it's definitely a lot better. Yeah, I think I'll add a little bit more and just carry on with this, like another quarter of a teaspoon of a tablespoon of pigment, and it should be okay. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you massively to all of you guys for being here. Thank you hugely to Eve, my wonderful super moderator, who's been so busy for the whole 3 hours, providing us with links to everything and looking things up for me. I really, really appreciate you always being so helpful, and just in general in terms of me making paint, because she's the one that like got me set up and she like talked me through it, and she was amazing, and just for being such a fantastic, great friend. So thank you so much. All the links to the products I've mentioned are down below. If I've missed any, just let me know in the comments and I will add it. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend this weekend. I hope it's sunny where you are so that you can have lots of vitamin D growing in you. I'm sure there was something biologically wrong that I just said that Paolo will let me know later. And Paolo, I will send you some of this once I get it right. So please send me your address. And if I said like we'll message each other later or talk later, then can you, if you just message me to remind me, then that'd be awesome. Please like this stream if you've enjoyed this 3 hour long marathon. Thank you so much for sticking with me this whole time. I know several of you, many of you have just been here the whole time, and that is blows my mind. So I am very, very grateful. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! I just need to click some buttons.